What do you think of Glass of Malone's song and video? What did you think of that?
That's his perspective. You know, when you're from the streets, you got different perspectives on, you know, what really happened and what really went down. Nobody told that story. I wouldn't have told it, but we knew that story. I knew Baby Lane because they got into it with Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I move around. I'm a Crip, and I move with Crip homies, and it's like certain things you do and you don't do, but when you from the gang culture, that's gangster shit what he did. So it's like, that's why ain't nobody doing nothing to him. Ain't nobody doing it. He came right up in this motherfucker and did what he did, walked up out there, and he back where he at. Because that is a perspective that was never spoke on, and it had to be. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he felt like he had to do, to tell that side of the story, but we already knew that side of the story.
September 7th, we were just leaving a fight. Tupac, Mike Tyson, friends, we're at the fight. And we go backstage to leave the building. Immediately after coming from backstage, one of Suge's homeboys came up and whispered into Tupac's ear. Pac took off running. There was a gentleman standing with a MGM security guard by a pillar as Tupac was approaching him. Now, when I think about it, the guy was standing there waiting, and Pac ran up on him, and the fight broke out. Orlando Anderson and a couple of Suge's homeboys had gotten into a fight at the Lakewood Mall in California back in April of '96 over a death row chain, because there was a bounty on the death row chains. The same person that had gotten into altercation with Orlando Anderson in the mall whispered into Tupac's ear, and it caused this fight. They were beating Orlando Anderson up on the ground. Tupac, Suge, and the rest of the entourage, they're pretty much bragging about what had happened. We get back to the Alexor Hotel. So we go up to Tupac's room, he changed clothes, come back downstairs. We're all just standing around. And all the women are coming out, everybody's ready to go over to 662, the after party. So Tupac turns to me and says, "No, don't ride with us." He hands me the keys and says, "You go drive the little homies, because we're going to the club, we're gonna be partying, and you're gonna drive us." So I said, okay. Pac and Suge get into the BMW. We get back onto the Las Vegas Strip. Suge's the lead car, I'm the car right behind him, and then there's just cars all behind us. So we turn right off of Las Vegas Boulevard onto Flamingo to go down to 662. As we approach the next stoplight, which is Koval in Flamingo, there is a car coming down the open lane that is next to myself in the BMW. As the car is approaching, I turn and I look to my right, and I see the car, and it's a white Cadillac. It kind of had moved over, and I would say closer to the BMW, probably about that close. And an arm just comes out and just starts firing.
Heard the shots being fired. Pac stood up to try to get in the back seat to get out the way of the shots. That's how he got shot in his hip, which hit one of the bones and traveled to hit his lung. I grabbed him and said, "Get down," and covered him. When I pulled him down, that's when I got shot in my head. "So you hit?" He said, "I'm hit." So I'm driving like a madman to a hospital. And the first thing he said, laughingly, jokingly, loudly, is, "I need the hospital? You the one shot in the head."
Coming up next on the 10 o'clock news, his lyrics, his life reflected a gangster lifestyle. Tonight, Bay Area rapper Tupac Shakur is dead of gunshot wounds.
Been all over the media, all over the news, all over the radio.
Hundreds lined the streets outside a Nation of Islam school to pay their respects to the slain rapper.
The first things I started hearing were rumors that Suge had Tupac shot because Tupac was thinking of leaving the industry. And I started to laugh when I heard that. I said, you know, the problem with this is why would someone like Suge have the shooter shoot across the car so that the bullets would hit him?
There are so many different layers to the story, and it's so tragic. Tupac Shakur is one of those kids who's really one of the great creative forces of our ages. He wasn't just a rapper, he was a kid who was really insightful.
He has said, I didn't want to go to Vegas anyway. He goes, I almost didn't even come. That day was going to happen. It was the destiny of his life. He had the thought of not going, but he went because his destiny was to die that next day.
And it's just a shame that another brother gets lost as a victim of this music.